Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you. There's a dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
You mean he's not going to morning prayers?
So you noticed that too?
Actually, you could be right.
I think when you take a closer look at Siskin, you'll find he's the one you're looking for.
Ah, you've got the wrong end of the stick. That has nothing to do with anything.
You think so? He definitely acts like a criminal. Who else would it be?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
That's not your concern.
You should talk to the CptPelotas or the prior about it, not act on your own.
Or maybe you're the one I'm looking for.
Me? A criminal? Look at me. How could I be? No, my friend, you're accusing the wrong man. If you want my advice, the oddest one around is Siskin. That fellow was never meant to be a monk. He's hiding something from us.
You're most likely right.
Well, I should say so. Thinking I'm a criminal. Jesus, you gave me quite a fright.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially Abbot Peter, and soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
Get out of my sight, you rat!
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. I want you to prepare 2 marigold decoctions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. What would you like?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
Is there anything I could help with?
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot Peter is gravely ill. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
What do you need me for?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. Or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book was the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the 3 wise men were from the East, were they not?
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Because I'm one of the highest-ranking monks here, and one day I'd like to become abbot. Can you imagine me crawling around in the black of night searching for a forbidden book?
You could just ask for it.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunately, librarian Cyril is a stubborn ass.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one. Or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Salarius could help.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Salarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Brother, what will become of you? Oh, well, Perhaps tomorrow you'll do better.
Ah, Gregor. Talk to me.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Are there ever any disagreements between the brothers?
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrels right now are about the election of the new abbot. They can already see poor Peter in his grave.
I understand. I'd like to ask you something. Who would you like to be the new abbot?
What kind of question is that? John, of course. Nevlis isn't the kind of candidate you can take seriously.
Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask, who would you like to be the new abbot?
Brother Nevlas, there are many things wrong here, and John would leave them as they are.
Praise be to Christ.
I'd like to ask, Who would you like to be the new...
The old abbot isn't dead yet. It's too early to talk about elections. But if I had to choose between the two who are already putting...
Talk to me, brother.
I'm looking for some...
And what would that be?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lock picks?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
Let's have a word about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'd like to ask... Who would you like to be the new abbot?
Brother Nevertheless, there are many things wrong here, and John would leave them.
Praise be to Christ.
I'd like to ask... I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that they spent no time considering how they could make the monastery a better place now.
Why? What's wrong with it now?
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer. The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests. So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead exemplary lives. Sin abounds here, just as in the outside world.
What sins are you talking about?
The scripture says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." I'm sorry, Gregor, it's not my place to speak about the sins of others.
I'd be interested to know more about Brother John.
I don't like to speak ill of people, but Circuitor John is the worst person the monks could pick to represent them. He's nothing but an old schemer and pedant who preaches water but drinks wine. He's won the older brethren over because they know he won't call an end to their debauchery.
Why do you want to become abbot?
Because when I see the way things are headed around here, I have no other option. Itinerant preachers speak of the corrupted black heart of the church, and I can't deny there's truth in what they say. I'd like to change things and bring back meaning and esteem to the monastery.
Tell me something about how the new abbot will be elected.
A new abbot has to be elected once the old one dies. All the brethren can vote, with the exception of novices. The abbot's crozier will be conferred on whoever is chosen, and he'll take the vow. When he becomes abbot, a monk spends most of his time dealing with politics outside the monastery, instead of actually leading the monastery. But he still maintains a fundamental influence on life here.
That's all. Thank you.
Peace be with you, brother.
What troubles you?
I'd like to ask you something about them. Who would you like to be the new abbot?
The old abbot isn't dead yet. It's too early to talk about elections. Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? I
definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? This time I'll look the other way. But next time you won't get out of being punished. Brother Nevlis says that you didn't finish your work in the herb room. Have you lost your taste for honor?
You're right, brother.
This is your first warning. Don't do it again.
This looks like the dregs after a night's drinking. Who could be coming here?
Brother? What are you doing here?
Salve. Be well.
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Really? Fine then. This time I...
About you in the election, will you...
Ask me anything you want.
I'd like to help you if I can.
There is something you could do. I am convinced Nevillus must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water and drinking wine, for example.
So I should dig something up on him and tell you about it?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevillus is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't seem right to me.
He who aids a sinner sins himself. I shall pray for your soul, brother.
Thank you for answering.
What troubles you? What would you like?
I'm looking for something.
And what would that be exactly?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpick?
I'd like to practice...
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all... I'll trade them for food.
What troubles you?
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favour?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Nevillus, vote for Nevillus"?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent, John.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. Just like you and everyone else here. We're all brothers in Christ. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know about.
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I don't know exactly what's wrong, then my promises are just empty slogans.
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
What do you want me to find out?
I'd be interested to hear about any iniquity in the monastery. I need to prepare myself for what I'll be facing. What would you like?
Is there any way I could help?
What would you like?
Not exactly.
John, but there is
That
pity.
Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask. Who would you like to?
And what kind of question's that?
What do you desire?
I'd like to ask. Who would you like?
I've thought long and hard about it, and I've decided.
What is it, brother?
I'd like to ask you something. Who would you like to?
Definitely Nevlas.
Credo in un Deum, Patrem omnipotentum, Creatorem, Caeli et...
What would you like?
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it. I can hardly believe it. Good gracious, so many mistakes. Talk to me, brother.
I've heard about Avicenna's Book of Medicine. Could I see it?
Who told you about that? Of course you can't.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are libri prohibiti, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Not even if I were to beg or promise a favor in return?
If you could prove to me that you truly like books, then maybe.
I don't need to hear anything else.
Ah, Gregor.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Wonderful. Keep looking then.
Salve Domine.
Look what I've got for you. You'll love this. Good boy. That's my boy.
brother. Brother Nevelis says that you didn't finish your work in the herb room. Have you lost your taste for honest labor?
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning. Do it again. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
You're right, brother.
Now this is your third warning. And do you know what that means? A day in solitary confinement.
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must confiscate anything that's not allowed in the... So...
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
You see, I'm looking for someone here.
You're looking for someone? But...
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Talk to him. Then I'll see. Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now...
I'd like to ask you... I'd like to know something about the other...
I don't know much.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except that he's not a stickler for rules.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
I'd like to know something about...
I don't...
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him.
Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the
Talk
Lord's
to me, brother.
commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine
Brother,
precepts
I've a
by
favour
action
to ask,
for those of higher
and I
hearts
think you're the man
and
to help me
noble
with it.
minds.
Or you used to be, before you came here.
I see, so it's the dodgy sort of favor, is it?
Well, yes. I need to get hold of the keys to the monastery.
That won't be easy, I can tell you that straight off. The prior always keeps the keys close by him. So how exactly do you imagine I could help?
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon
How could
as
I get
they
hold of
begin
them?
to appear.
With great difficulty.
Remembering the fate of Heli,
Unless you want to rob the prior.
the well-disposed and those of
Could
good
you take the keys off him?
let him correct with
Rob the prior? You've got to be joking.
You wouldn't be doing it for free?
Then what could you possibly pay me? I'm done with my thieving, and you'd have to offer me a whole lot of groschen to change my mind.
How much would you want?
A princely sum, brother. This is no trifling matter.
That much? Where am I supposed to find that much coin? No one here has any money.
Precisely. But no groschen, no theft. And think twice before you ask me that kind of favor again.
I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silent.
You have some interesting skills. For a monk? Don't suppose you want to tell me how you picked them up?
What's there to tell? We were all young and foolish once. I was a student in Prague, completely broke, living from hand to mouth and studying all day. It wasn't an easy life.
So you turned to stealing?
I set about securing a livelihood as best I could. A goose, some new shoes, a bit of coin to spend with my friends. Without that little bit extra, I'd never have completed my studies. I would have turned into a beggar. And who else do you know that can say he's serving God thanks to having been a thief?
No one, brother. Thank you for telling me your story.
If anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But
I'm looking for something a little...
And what?
Words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual...
I'm looking for
lock picks.
I'd like to practice open...
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your luck.
Ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be accepted. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys, he will learn.
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to...
It was you that poisoned me.
Don't take it personally. Kill or be killed. You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you a solution that doesn't require any killing. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What do I need the keys to the monastery?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Getting the keys won't be easy.
I know, but Brother Salarius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, they'll be worth finding. Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at all times.
They both sound hard to me. But needs must. What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow. That sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you. Praise be to Christ.
I'd like to ask you something.
What is it, brother?
Salve. Be well.
Be well.
Brother, what are you doing here?
You're right, brother.
This is your first...
Praise be to Christ.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them,
Salve, you well?
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. What trouble?
Ora pro nobis sancta Dei genitor. Stop, Gregor. Brother, what are you doing here?
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning.
Peace be with you, brother.
Brother, stealing is a sin.
Very well, brother.
Now, show me what you have.
What's that you're carrying
Sure,
around?
that's
Sure,
where
that's
did you
what
get
you're
it?
carrying around.
What is
And
that?
why?
And where did you get it?
For the
What is that?
given to superiors
And where did you
is
get
given
it?
to God.
What's that you're carrying
The
around?
disciple obeys
Why?
ill will and murmurs, not
Brother?
necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart.
What are you doing here?
Even though he fulfills
Shouldn't you be working somewhere?
What is that?
You're right, brother.
Where did you get it?
This is your first warning.
That his heart is murmuring, and far from punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble, kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us
brother. Stealing is a... You did...
Yes, brother. I'm resisting punishment. I've had it up to my neck with you, your monastery, and
You failed.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, probably the same as you. I want to be able to read in peace and quiet. And not just the books they make us read.
Ah, I see. Well then, I'll just concentrate on what I'm doing and pretend you're not here. You do the same.
As you wish. And if I could recommend some good reading to you, you'll find it in that locked cabinet. It's full of forbidden books. Until recently it was still unlocked, but after something vanished, they've kept it locked tight.
Maybe I could get inside.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'd love to pore over some of those tomes. We'd be in it together, up to our ears in it. What do you say?
We'll see what I can do. Ah, this looks like the Saracen language.
Talk to me, brother.
About you in the election, will you...
Ask me anything you want.
I'm not really interested.
Then why are you wasting my time?
Thank you for answering.
Brother, where were you during Mass?
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning. Do it again and you will be punished. Is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight?
Very well, brother.
Now, show me... You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
I don't want to drink. I'll leave you to it.
Off you go then. You can come back and join us any time. But if you say a word about what you've seen here, you'll regret it. I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure.
What troubles you?
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking.
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
But you're the cicators. You're the ones meant to be keeping order here. How can gambling and drinking be a fitting part of a monk's life?
If you really want to know, see for yourself.
I'd rather go to bed.
Go, brother, go. Be fresh and alert for tomorrow's work. I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure. It's a bit sour. God knows what's in it.
Don't be absurd.
Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, in the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a This very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing, if what is commanded is done without hesitation, grumbling or objection.
Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you. But next time...
Talk to me, brother.
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about them, they keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book. But you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me. I'd be interested to hear it.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me some... What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor.